Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Lighthouse Ministries, where we tell our testimonies on how God led us from the darkness into the light.
Yeah, so I hope that everybody out there is doing great today. I'm hoping that you're having a blessed, what's today, Monday? It's going to be Tuesday. But I just hope you're having a blessed day whenever you watch this video. We have a prophetic word for you guys today, as you see in the title, okay? So the prophetic word of the day is the harder way. So God gave me this word to speak with you guys about the harder way.
Yeah.
Because one thing that he have did in our life is took us the harder way.
Yes.
God did not allow shortcuts. He didn't allow easy. He took us the harder way to get to where we are today. So we're here. We have 7 topics that we want to discuss with you guys about taking the harder route. All right. And the benefits that you get from taking those harder routes. Okay. So we ask you guys to stick around to the end of the video because I pray that this word will bless you. Yeah. Because I know it definitely blessed us in preparing it. It gave us understanding on the hard routes. It gave us a sense of knowledge, you know, and just it totally blessed us. And we understand more of how God works because of it. So I hope that you guys stick around to the end of the video and hear our major testimony, okay, on how God took us the hard way. And it was a big one. It's crazy. We went through some things.
A lot of it.
But it was definitely worth it.
It was worth it at the end.
So let's get into topic number 1.
So topic number 1, you guys, is we're going to compare this word to Joseph's story. It's in Genesis 13. I said 13. Genesis 37 through 50.
Okay. So we're not going to read the story.
No, we'll give you a little details. We're going to shorten it for you.
What I want you guys to do is to do your homework.
Yeah.
If you guys do not remember Joseph's story, I want you to take a look at it in Genesis. I believe she said 37
through 50. Yeah.
Through 50, and get into it and also see if that word will bless you. The reason why God gave us Joseph's story was because Joseph is one person in the Bible out of many who God took the hard way.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to talk about his story a little bit. So the upbringing of Joseph, he had a dream, correct? A vision that his brothers was going to bow to him.
Yes.
And he went out, tried to tell his brothers, like, you know, all these things that God has been showing them. And he had favor from their father. I believe his name was Jacob, correct? And what Joseph did is he got sold into slavery by his brothers. Yeah. Okay. And then what Joseph did in slavery, he became, I can't put it, head of his master's house.
The head, yeah.
Okay. And everything that came in and out the house went through Joseph. So he was blessed in his master's house. Yeah. Even though he was still a slave. Then his master's wife tried to dupe him up in some stuff. Let's just, you know, read that story. And he ended up getting sent to prison for something he never did. And now he had to spend time in prison. And after all this time in prison, God ended up putting him in a place where he became governor of the king. Yeah. Second to none in the kingdom of Egypt. And how did he get there? I want to talk about the hard routes that he had to go through in order to reach his true purpose. Okay. So is being sold into slavery easy? No. There's nothing easy.
Especially getting portrayed by your family.
Yeah.
I see if it was a regular person, but this is a place where his brothers portrayed him.
Exactly. And the story of Joseph, he didn't have it easy. No. God took him through the harder route to build his character, to build up his knowledge of things. Because what if he never was sold into slavery and never was head of the master's, you know, whole organization? Would he know how to govern a whole, you know, the whole Egypt? So sometimes God take us the harder way to teach us some things, which we're going to get to a little bit later in the video. So that's a story that we're going to be referencing on a little bit. So Now let's get into part 2.
So part 2, you guys, is easy is temporary.
Yes. So that was a word given to me by a pastor I was watching on TV. I think it was T.D. Jakes a while ago. But he said that anything that is easy is surely temporary. Okay? If you hear a little noise, that is our son, okay? But anything that is easy is surely temporary. And we want to get into what could that mean.
Easy is temporary. And my answer to that is yes, it is temporary, because I had a job at some point where it was an easy job, but I didn't keep it for longer than 4 months.
Yeah. So sometimes we get used to the easy.
Yeah.
And that's going to come in a later verse as well. But see, anything easy is temporary.
Yeah.
So if you're going down a road and it feels like it's too easy, make sure you're being led by God.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I'm not saying that God cannot make your path easy, but I'm saying that a lot of times when God's taking you the hard way, you can't learn in easy.
Yeah.
You ain't getting disciplined if it's too easy. So the question you need to ask yourself, am I following God's will for my life right now?
Yeah.
Because this seems easy.
Yeah.
It seems like I get up, I go to work, I make a lot of money, I'm doing the best I can, but I pray to God to give me a better job. But right now, everything just seems so easy.
Yeah.
Be careful of that easy, because it's temporary. And a lot of times, God will bring down those easy walls. And what he does is they come down with force.
Yeah.
And now you in panic and chaos, like what's going on?
Yeah.
But it was never meant for you to stay in that easy.
True.
It was meant for you to get to your purpose, to the place that God wanted you to be.
Yeah.
So a little bit about us for a second, like she said about your job, right? We actually thought that was where we were going to be.
For a while, yeah.
You know, you was a caregiver at that time and you were making some decent money. And we was like, okay, the job is easy.
Yeah.
I mean, the person slept like half of the
day.
So
he sat down all day, so he didn't do too much.
yeah, and you only had to sit with the client for about 9 hours a day, and you're gonna have to do like an hour of work probably.
But it was temporary.
And
It
was
didn't last long.
temporary.
It was like an in and out job. For people that is watching this and you are like a caregiver, you know if they don't find you a client, you're going to be out of a job for a while. Yeah. I was out a job for a while because he kept getting sick. So it wasn't nothing permanent. It was temporary for a long time.
And it was just super easy. You didn't have to stress about it. You didn't have to do nothing with it. And we wanted to get used to that easy.
Yeah.
We wanted to get acquainted with it, like,
because it was easy making easy money.
But when God pulled it away from us, we was in kind of a like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, is this really happening? We're gonna lose our job? Like, what's going on? But it was never meant for us to stay. I believe we was
getting too comfortable in the easy too.
Yeah, because we are now where we're supposed to be.
Exactly.
What would have happened if we never let go of that easy and stepped into the purpose that God called us to do? And so, let go of that easy. When God says let go of that job, let it go.
Yes.
And he wants you to take the harder route because it's the better promise in the harder road. Okay?
That is true.
Let's go ahead and get into the third part of this word.
All right, you guys. The third part is that God will discipline who he loves.
Yes. So understand, when you're going through the harder way, God disciplines you.
Yeah.
Okay? But understand that God do it with love and not with, envy, or God ain't holding nothing back from you.
Yeah.
So taking the harder road to success is not always as easy as you may think it's going to be.
True.
But you sometimes feel like God is not on your side no more. It feels like, bro, I'm going through this alone. God have abandoned me. God have left me. I'm dealing with all these problems, all these issues. God, where are you?
Yeah.
Where are you? And you feel abandoned, and it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts. But you have to understand, God have never abandoned you.
Yeah.
And he never will. So what you have to do right now is continue to stay on that hard road and understand that it's for a reason.
Yeah.
That path that you're going on is for a reason. See, God put us on those tough roads to deliver us to something better. But it's so many things that he wants to take out of you.
Yeah.
He cannot give you the promise without giving you the character.
Yeah.
Okay, so before you worry about the promise, let God change your character, because he's never going to put you in something that he didn't prepare you for.
That is true.
So the discipline of God is to prepare you
Yeah.
for that promise. So let's go back to the story of Joseph.
Yeah.
God prepared him for that purpose, and he put him in position to be able to be in the place at the right time when the king needed him.
Yeah.
So the king in the story said, like, he had a dream, and the only person in the kingdom that could interpret the dream was Joseph. The only way he knew that is because Joseph had a cellmate that was in prison with him, and he interpreted his dream for him.
Yeah.
So God puts you in that place of hard times, sometimes to boost you.
Yeah.
It is to prepare you and to make way for your success.
Yeah.
So when you're in a tough situation, stop looking at it as a tough situation.
What I learned is when you're in a tough situation, ask God of what he's trying to teach you in that situation.
Yeah.
It's multiple times where God put us through tough situations, but every tough situation, God is trying to teach you something. I learned that God is not going to put you in a tough situation without teaching you something in that situation.
There's preparation in the hard coming.
Yes.
There's preparation in the hard time. So we as children of God have to understand that God will discipline us.
Yeah.
And how he disciplined us is different for every person.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about our testimony at the end of this, so we encourage you guys to stay around.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about some crazy ways that God have disciplined us. And I really want to share that with you guys, so I hope you stick around, because it was crazy. You know, it's different for each of us.
Yeah.
But it definitely made us to who we are today.
Yes.
So don't run from the discipline, and don't think that God don't love you because he's disciplining you. So that brings us into number 4, right?
Okay. Number 4, you guys, is don't get comfortable in the easy. It's only a rest stop.
Yes. Okay. So if you're one of the people of God's children and God have ordained for you to go down the hard road, do not be comfortable in the easy. And like we said earlier, I believe it was number 2, easy is only temporary. But sometimes we get comfortable in the temporary spot.
True.
And sometimes you don't want to leave. And so you would choose to stay as whatever it is that God has placed you for a moment. See, I call the easy a place of rest.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes we go through seasons that is so difficult and so hard that it's hard to breathe.
Yeah.
So God says, you know what? I'm going to give you a little bit easier of a life just for a little while.
Yeah.
Because you need a break.
Yeah.
You know, because you've reached your breaking point already. So a season in our life, would you want to say something?
Oh, wait to get
Okay. So a season in our life, we left like this eviction process. We left all these things.
Yeah.
And then now we entered a season of easy. And we're just like, we can kick our feet back. We can relax. We was not in our purpose. We wasn't into the promised land. We wasn't into where God wanted us to be. But what we did is we kicked our feet back and got comfortable and got lazy.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, God shook some things up. He started giving us turbulence.
Yeah.
If you ever had turbulence in your life, you know, leave a comment. But it's when God shakes things up so you don't get comfortable.
Get comfortable in the world.
And we went crazy. We was upset.
Very.
We was upset. We was like, come on. Why can't we just have something easy?
Yeah.
It was like, you've been in your easy. Now it's time to get back to work.
Exactly. Because I remember the time I heard a story about the Israelites. You guys read their story. The Israelites took down a city. But the one thing is that they rest in that city for a period of time.
Yeah.
But guess what? That wasn't a promised land. That was just a resting stop, because after they rested, God was like, okay, it's time for you guys to move on.
Yeah. So it's very important not to stop in the easy.
Yeah.
You see, especially for us who God have given a vision to.
Yeah.
But it's been so hard chasing after that vision that we get a little piece of leniency. And it's just like, oh, it's a little easy right here. I know I'm not where I need to be at, where God promised me. But you know what? This is good enough. I'm just going to stay right here and just keep doing what I'm doing. It seems like I'm surviving. So I'm going to stay here. God don't want you to stay there. He wants you to take a break.
He wants you to take a break, yeah.
And then he's going to put you back in the road to keep climbing and keep chasing your way to the purpose.
Yeah.
So do not get comfortable in the easy. Take that break, take that relaxation, take that breath of fresh air, and then make sure you get back into the race and do not allow yourself to stop the race because it seems like it's easier right here.
It's like a road trip.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say is that when you take a long road trip, guess what? When you get tired, you get exhausted from driving for so long, having your eyes open, you go to a hotel and you sleep. But they don't stay there. They get back up and get back on the road to where they supposed to go.
Let's keep going. And I encourage if anybody out there that's having it easy for a while and you're struggling getting back up, don't worry, God is going to get you up.
Oh, definitely.
And we're going to talk about that in our testimony at the end of the video as well. Oh, God is going to get you up. Okay. So that brings us into number 5. We only got a couple more to go, and then we get to our testimony.
All right, guys. So number 5 is the hard way, but in the hard way, God is building your character.
So there's a couple of things that God is doing in the hard way. He's building your trust in him. He's building your character, and he's building your endurance.
Yes.
How much can you hold?
Yeah.
So when I put you in a place of power, or if I put you in that place where I have showed you, you don't fold because pressure gets too hard.
Yeah.
So I gotta I gotta turn up the flame a little bit so you don't fold every single time opposition hits you.
Yeah.
See, opposition will make you turn away and run. But see, God says, I'm strengthening you in these hard battles. So as you're walking down this road and it's hard and you understand like this journey with God is not easy.
Yeah.
Whoever said that following God was going to be easy,
Look at Jesus. He was crucified. And that wasn't easy.
It's not easy. See, Jesus took the hard road.
Yeah, he took the hard road.
He didn't take it easy. So he had to take the route that God laid out for him.
Yeah.
He laid out for himself.
Yeah.
But so what I say in this, and I want everybody to understand this, if you made it this long in the video, the hard road builds you.
Yes.
You cannot be built in easy. Okay? So as you're walking this new path with God and you're happy and you're going through things that sometimes make you upset, makes you mad, and makes you frustrated, understand that the hard road is to build you.
Yeah.
Do not leave that road. Stay on that path because you're going to become like something new.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't make metal shiny without burning it.
Yeah.
Okay?
And they got to put it in there a couple times.
Yeah, we cannot make things without burning it. So you have to go through the hard time or the heat to get to where you need to be. But it builds your character. It builds who you are as a child of God.
Yeah.
And one thing that I have experienced is that it built my trust.
Yeah.
I trust God so much more because I seen how he provided for me in the hard road.
Yeah.
See, God allowed, and I believe he did it with the Israelites. I got to find that verse someday. But what happened is that with me personally, God allowed hard times to come. So I was able to see him as Jehovah Jireh.
Yeah.
He allowed me to go through seasons of lack, of seasons of arguing and strife so we can learn how to fight the enemy.
Yeah.
So he was teaching us the whole time, but I can't teach you in easy.
Yeah.
You have to learn by experiencing.
Yes.
So I want you to think of a rookie cop, okay? They have to get out there and learn in the field.
Yeah.
You can't learn everything behind the desk and safety. That's easy.
Exactly.
I have to put you through some circumstances for you to learn.
Yeah.
And so that is what God is doing to many of us today. He has taken us the hard way so we can learn his character and become more like him and less like ourselves. So do not stop because it's hard. Keep going and say, God, the fact that you're making it hard for me, you must really love me. Yeah.
Yes.
Because God loves who he disciplined. That means God has something big for you.
Yeah.
Do not stop because it seems hard. And I pray that this is encouraging someone out there because so many times I wanted to give up and say, man, bump this.
Let's go back.
Let's go back to where I used to be.
But honestly, You have nothing to go back to, so you
No,
have to stay
it's
on
gone.
that road. It's gone.
It's gone.
Unless you're going back to sin, because that's basically
So
what you're
when
going
you
back
go
to.
back, you go back to a life without God.
Yeah.
And that's worse than a harder road.
I'd rather stay on the harder road.
And that's a word for itself. Stay on that road, because we have been there. We went to a life without God because we got tired of the rules, the regulations, and we got tired of the hard path. And we're going to talk about that in like just a couple minutes about our situation and our testimony. What is number 6?
So you guys, number 6 is the enemy will try to make you void your promise.
Yes. So what the enemy's tactics would do, he will make you think that God is holding out on you.
Yes.
This road is too hard for anybody. God made it so you would never make it.
Ooh.
So God made it so you'll never cross. You'll never reach that place. He's just messing with your mind.
Yeah.
Do not allow the enemy to trick you out of your purpose or your promise.
Yeah.
Too many times we have listened to that little voice in our head that's evil.
Yeah.
And he is telling us, oh, you're never going to be that person. You're never going to make it that far. You're never going to have that job. You're never going to be in that position.
Yeah.
And the enemy don't want you to have it. Because a lot of times when God blesses you, it's to bless others.
Oh, yeah.
It's to bring more people into the kingdom. Why would the enemy want that?
Exactly.
So one thing that I say is never allow complaining to get into your life.
And I want to say something about complaining. It was one season we had to come back to an old season we had to redo. And at the beginning, I complained so much. I complained, and it didn't do nothing better. It just caused the enemy to come in my head and be like, I told you. And
why does it feel like as soon as you allow that complaining spirit in, it's like you no longer want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like the first chance I get to run out of this, I'm running. Even though God wants me to be right here where I'm at. But that complaining spirit is dangerous. And I really want y'all to understand, like, work with the complaining spirit. So what we did is a 30-day no complaining fast.
And it wasn't easy. And the thing is, every time we complain, we have to start
over.
So sometimes it went longer than 30 days, but it made things so much better because we began to look at things in a way of we are grateful for what we have.
And one thing I realized, we was complaining about things that God already had covered. So, oh man, we run out of food. We don't have a lot of money.
Next thing you knew,
next day we have more food, more money, more everything that we need.
Everything we need.
So we learned not to complain, just to wait.
To wait and be grateful.
Just wait and allow God to give you everything that He have promised you.
Yeah.
So the complaining will definitely take you out.
Yeah.
So now I want to get into our testimony, okay? And so that's number 7 is our testimony. So we're going to talk about our marriage.
Okay.
All right. And how God took our marriage the hard way. What I want you guys to understand is that we had a very tough marriage.
Yeah.
It was difficult. It was worldly. It wasn't
good.
It wasn't in a position that it is now today.
Yes.
Okay. So we prayed to God together. We said, God, can you heal our marriage? God says, yes, but you're going to do it my way.
Which is the harder way.
So we didn't understand what that meant. At that time, but okay, God is going to fix us. We're going to give it all to God. We're going to surrender it all. And we're going to start doing what God told us to do. So we start reading little books about marriage. Like, I remember reading relationship goals. Yeah. And we're like, oh, we getting better already. No. That was just a book.
That's all it was.
Now it's time for you to live the things that I've been teaching you. So God said, now I want you guys to move to Dallas, Texas. We moved to Dallas, and
it folded.
Let's just say we was probably one of the worst versions of ourselves that we ever been.
Yeah.
God was showing us how dirty we really was. And in Dallas, and we was living in a hotel room at that time. We was fighting, arguing, all that.
I said cussing. Pretty much.
Yeah, that too. But so what happened is now we learned how God ain't gonna He ain't gonna fix our marriage on going on vacation.
Yeah.
He's gonna take us the hard way. And I want to tell y'all, it took a year and probably 5 to 6 months for our marriage to be healed.
Yes.
Almost 2 years the hard way
Yeah.
for our marriage to be healed. Please don't think the hard way is overnight.
No, it's
Some
not.
people can get it in a month, a couple of days, but when it's serious,
Yeah.
God's going to take you the hard way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to tell you guys a couple of challenges that we face. Like, he told me, if you want me to fix your wife, first I have to fix you.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go through the masturbation period.
Yeah.
I had to go through the respecting her, even though she's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, God allowed her to be crazy. God allowed her to be insane with me. Y'all, I was upset. I'm like, I'm praying every night, like, Lord, help me
babe,
out.
Don't be telling.
And,
I wasn't that bad.
and we open over here at Lighthouse. But every day I'm praying, like, God, help me with my marriage. Mm-hmm. It feels so much worse. And she's just like, I don't like you today. And what God showed me in that was, I'm putting you through this so you can learn something.
Yeah.
And what I learned was, no matter what this woman is going through or what she does to me, I have to love her. Mm-hmm. And I have to respect her.
Yeah.
So many times I won't get what I want from her and I'll start cussing her out. Mm-hmm. God said, if you even raise your voice at her, this season is going to be a lot longer. So if you want to make it out of this season in one piece, you're going to have to get what I'm placing inside of you. Now, some people may call that mean. But look, my wife go crazy. The first thing I ask her is, what's wrong and what can I do to help you? I do never, ever yell at you the same way.
Yeah.
I don't talk to you the same way. It have made me a better man.
Yes.
And it's something that I cherish because I know how much you needed that.
Yeah.
You needed that because sometimes you'll act out for a reason.
Yeah.
But when an enemy gets in your mind, I don't fight you, I fight the enemy.
Exactly.
And I learned to pray for you. I learned to love you because there's no greater thing in my life right now other than God is my wife. Yeah. So I'm so happy that God put me through that hard way so I can have the love that I have today. And so let's get into one of yours. What is one of the positions that God took you the hard way?
God took me the hard way by being a submissive wife. If you guys watch my testimony, and what God had really put a work in me is being a good, loving wife to him. And my hard way was when we went through an apartment season, and God had to put fear in me. That was my discipline time. He had his when we was in Airbnb, I believe. Yeah. Mine was when we moved to a house, and God took that house away from us. And then I had to go to court. I had to go through all these things, and it was really hard for me.
So what did you do to get yourself in that position?
I got in line.
No. What did you do for God to have to take you down that hard path to get you to listen?
He took me to court.
Okay, no. I'm going to try to explain for you. So what happened was, we was in the season and she was going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But God said, enough is enough. It's time for you guys to come back together.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't want to be a wife.
Oh.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
Against God.
And she started to rebel.
Yeah.
And God was not having it.
Oh, no.
So God put her in such a hard season to correct her rebellion.
To discipline me. And when I came out of that hard season, I say, yep, I'm a good wife today.
Yep. So when God delivered her out, she no longer rebels.
I no longer went against God, no matter what season I went into. I never went against what God told me, because he took me through that discipline season.
So you learned to be obedient.
Yes.
Because of that season. Yeah. So that is what the hard road produces. It produces all these great things. So God do his best work on the hard road. Yeah. So if you are ready for a life-changing journey, pray to God and say, God, take me the hard road, not the easy road.
Yeah. And that hard road will give you so much at the end. Like at the beginning of our journey, I was like, I don't want to do this no more. It's too hard. But me looking back on it, it was worth it because it created something that we see today, and we're closer than what we can possibly be.
Yeah, the reason why we're sitting here today in front of this camera is because God took us the hard road.
We could not do this at the beginning because we hated each other. We just wasn't fit to do ministry until now, and God took us through the hard road. But that hard road produces so many good fruits of it.
Yeah. So I encourage anyone that if you stay to the end of this message, if it blessed you, I pray that God continues to pour into you, that he continues to share his love with you, and that you embrace those hard road.
Yeah.
You do not avoid it, that you embrace it with all your heart and all your love. We thank you guys for staying to the end of this video. We hope that you liked it. We hope that it blessed you, and I hope that you guys subscribe so you can see more words like this to come. And I'm pretty sure we will be posting more often because God have given us a new road to go on.
Yes,
and this new road we're on is ministry. So we're definitely going to be active, and we're definitely going to continue to share the word of God no matter what. And I pray that God shines his light on you guys so you can shine your light to others. And I hope that you have an amazing day.
Amen.